KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It's the Mo Kelly Show. The famed skateboard maker, craftsman, comic book lover, and superhero movie fanatic Bear Walker has been featured in the New York Times, Forbes, and just about everywhere between the two. Actor Jason Momoa, Shazam star Zach Levi, and singer Billie Eilish all own custom boards Walker made at his shop. He crafts skateboards for Marvel, Pokemon, and the NBA, and a number of television and movie franchises as well. Ushering in a new golden age of skateboarding and cruisers, the All-American made boards are for both the skaters who want to ride and those who want an art piece to hang in their homes. And Bear Walker joins me now on the Mo Kelly Show as we formally kick off the holiday season. Hint, hint, gift ideas. Bear Walker, good to see you, man. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. That was quite the intro. Appreciate it.
Well, I don't know why you would appreciate it. It's all true. I mean, you earned that. I couldn't just write that and make it up. It had to be true.
Thanks, man. Well, it's an honor to be here, man. Appreciate it.
You have so many loves, so many interests, so many skills. What, if anything, was your first love? In other words, what was the first step getting from there to here?
So I actually started out surfing. That was kind of my first passion. And I built custom homes with my dad growing up. And so when I graduated college with an art degree and couldn't find a job, I tried to mesh all my passions together, and it kind of churned out custom skateboards.
So in other words, you are formally trained. It wasn't like you were just doodling at home and decided to do one thing, it didn't work out, and you said, well, let me just try my hand at this. You actually were pursuing a career in art. Fair enough?
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely a jigsaw of weird little odd jobs that kind of combined to make this. So I don't know. I feel like I was kind of on this path I didn't know I was on, which was really cool. But yeah, like I said, I loved surfing. I did woodworking as a job growing up. Went to school for art, and then graduated in a weird time, right when the recession hit in 2011. And yeah, bounced around making custom signage, and it didn't really just appeal to my artistic tick that I wanted to kind of scratch, Yeah, and one day I had this epiphany to carve out the design to create the grip that you'd usually use for a skateboard. Made one, people started asking where I got it from, and it kind of snowballed from there.
The skateboard culture has changed and evolved over the years and decades.
Sure.
When I was using the skateboard and trying to do just a 360, 720.
Yeah, starting simple.
Yeah, when I was trying to do it, it was a different time. It was a different age, and we weren't even thinking about converging cultures. How do comic books fit into this for you?
See, well, I feel like that was probably one of the coolest turning points in my career, because I worked at a movie theater growing up as well. I've always been super into comics and Marvel movies and all that. And so when I used to do all beachy vibe stuff for my boards. And then when I started pulling my other passion into it, which was comics and movies, that was right when I started getting, recognition from Jason Momoa and Grant Gustin and all these actors in the industry. And the people that were following me started resonating with it more as well. And I don't know, it just even clicked once again. It's this should be the route I'm doing. I know this genre, I'm passionate about it, and I can make kind of geeky culture stuff mixed into the skate realm, and almost invite new people into skate culture, which is kind of an intimidating niche to get in with.
What was that first oh wow moment? Was it a tweet from Jason Momoa? Was it a particular actor or someone you might have seen, someone of prominence on one of your boards? What was that first oh wow moment?
Yeah, I'd say there was a whole week that was pretty crazy. So I'm really good friends with my local comic book shop owner, and I was always trying to hustle and try to find ways to make money. And he was doing me a favor and bought some art for his comic book shop, which was a full Justice League set. And so I made that Justice League set, and legit half of the people playing Justice League characters were liking and commenting on my posts for their individual character. And that's literally in the same week I was getting shout outs from Jason Momoa and Grant Gustin and making them Flash and Aquaman boards. And yeah, just kind of all the people I've been trying to make custom stuff for 6 months prior to that suddenly were answering my DMs,
There's something to be said for someone liking your post, answering your DM, but there's a difference when the phone rings and they talk about business. What was that first phone call like, regardless of whoever it was? That first time you realized, oh, shoot, I might be able to make some money from this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was definitely Grant. I usually don't hit on that too much, but Grant is just like a super nice guy. He plays the Flash on the CW. And yeah, he just loved the boards. I made him a couple customs, and then we did a small collab together, which sold out in 2 hours. And yeah, it was a nice little match.
I may not be going in order, but I think all of this fits together. Before you had your success here, was there any concern that maybe you were punching above your weight, too far above your weight, maybe out of your league in the sense of, hey, I like
Oh, yeah.
my stuff, but I don't know if other people will like my stuff?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I say all the time, it took me 8 years to become an overnight success. Like, it was 7 years prior to that, I'd been making these boards. Like, I've been making them since 2012. And it took about 7 years of like, I had a business, it failed. I started from scratch, moved, saved up for 2 years, bought the equipment again, started over. And that was like, it kind of goes back to that point we were talking about before, where I was trying to make this beach vibe. I was trying to fit into skate culture and surf culture with what I was making. And it was when I like kind of did that pivot and started doing the stuff that I liked making, like the comic book stuff and the movie stuff, that like that was, I think, the big turning point where like my unique style kind of mixed with this like new genre, and it all kind of just happened at the right time.
I'm curious because I understand there's the functionality of
Mm-hmm.
a board and a grip and just whether it works for its primary purpose, and also trying to blend it with the art and make sure it looks really good with the art. How did you go about trying to blend, okay, I want it to look good, but I still want it to be, skater approved?
Yeah, so that's actually like, I don't know. I love challenges. It was like one of the fun parts of the puzzle was like you have to make it obviously look good for people to want it. But then with the way that I make my stuff, it's like there has to be obviously grip areas where it's most needed. So like where your feet would go. So, you see a board and it hopefully looks good and all that, but like I still have to like strategically place like focal points where a foot isn't going to be, grip areas where it's going to need the most traction. And so it's kind of just like an added piece of the puzzle that I have to figure out when I'm designing these, making it functional and beautiful and making sure it's like high quality.
We're speaking right now to innovative entrepreneur Bear Walker. You can go to bearwalker.com and see some of his designs, some of his ingenuity, and some of his just creative visionary work that it just is mind-blowing. And yes, it is the holidays, so you might want to pick up one or two or maybe even three or four. They are, I would say, celebrity approved. All sorts of folks from Marvel on down love his work. We're going to talk more with Bear Walker in just a moment, so keep it right here. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Now, let's go to the KFI 24-hour newsroom and Mark Ronner. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It's the Mo Kelly Show as we talk on this at the end of Thanksgiving weekend. We are officially ushering in the holiday season. Christmas is around the corner, as well as Hanukkah. And maybe you are in need of some gift ideas. I have some perfect ones for you, for someone in your family, as we talk about art and skater culture. And Bear Walker, who joins me right now, he has a wonderful, wonderful collection of boards that he has created. And when I say created, I mean the art as well as the board themselves, which have received celebrity acclaim all around the world. You can go to bearwalker.com. And Bear, in my original introduction, I was talking about your love of this and that, from comic books to popular culture, television, and movies. And you told me about the first time a celebrity or someone of note had reached out to you directly asking for some custom boards. You mentioned Grant Gustin, the star of The Flash. But it grew from there. How did it grow from there?
Yeah, so I think that was like my, dipping my toes into getting into the industry and actually, gaining some traction. From there, I needed to actually like establish myself as like a standalone business, kind of, you know what I mean? So like, I heard there was this thing called Licensing Expo in Vegas. And so I made some custom boards for my favorite, thing as a kid, which was Pokemon, and then flew out there and, waited outside the booth until I got a meeting for it and gave them these custom boards. And that kind of kicked off my first big collaboration with a company, which was dope. And we've been doing stuff with Pokemon ever since. And that's kind of what helped build my name on top of the, the whole custom celebrity board thing.
sometimes you could be a victim of your own success. And since these are handcrafted, handmade, I'm quite sure your time is limited at best. And it probably becomes an issue to being able to accommodate all these requests in a personal sense, in a professional sense. How do you go about deciding or scheduling these custom crafted boards as well as the ones that you may offer to the general public?
Yeah, man, it's been crazy. Like, I kind of started hitting my, upward trajectory right at the beginning of the pandemic as well. So it's like I went from 2 employees before the pandemic to then growing to about 40.
What?
And yeah,
40?
man, it was nuts. Yeah. And having to scale and like learn how to implement processes and procedures and, still try to keep a really cool work culture. But yeah, try to make all these goals and all these, quotas we have to hit and all this stuff while still keeping it handcrafted and limited and quality and all that. So, yeah, the pandemic and growth has been, a lot of work and a lot of trial and error. But yeah, at the end of it, we were just trying to keep things as high quality as we could, try to keep it consistent. And then as far as customs go, my time got a lot more strained. So I limited my stuff to 25 customs a year.
Do you find that because of the crush for your time, the pull of the business itself, that it saps away from your creativity? Do you find that it's a little bit more difficult to have the same type of freshness attached to every new board because you're being pulled in so many directions?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I feel like a mad scientist half the time now, man. It's crazy. Like, I'll spend half my day in like paperwork and sometimes some like drama happening at the shop and stuff like that. And then it's like, okay, now go create a really cool board, and it's like, yeah, it's hard to turn off and on. So like, I literally have like, I don't know, a few days out of every month where I just get struck with inspiration and I know it's going to leave. So like, I'll stay up for like 3 days straight and try to create a month's worth of stuff in 3 days because it's like, whether I chose it or not, that's my window that I actually have some clear creative thought and I just have to like capitalize on it when it's there,
I can't speak for you. I'm just going to put it in my terms because you may not want to volunteer this information. But I'm a guy, if I were struggling, let's say out of art school and I couldn't necessarily find my way and then the pandemic hits, which doesn't make anything easier for anyone, I'm quite sure there were some people who might have written you off along the way. And I know I would kind of want to take a victory lap right about now and think about all the folks who either said that I couldn't, or this girl who turned me down, or this woman who said, I'm not going to go out with you because you're a sucker, you're a loser. All I'm saying is, has any of that ever crossed your mind?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm a little low-key petty at times. I feel like it's for the entrepreneurial spirit. You know what I mean?
That keeps you going.
Oh, yeah. No, I used to do MMA and stuff like that. And like, I fought my best after I had gotten punched in the face. That's when I like do my best work too, is after I'm like, when I get too comfortable, you get lazy or complacent. My best work comes from when I'm, looking for revenge or, trying to prove something or, I've had to learn how to like with success, I've had to learn how to like funnel that in more healthy ways, like try to find inspiration and stuff out of just like, travel and stuff like that, more healthy routes. But yeah, I've definitely got, like I told you, my first business failed and I like, that had to do with some partners. And I've definitely used that as fuel for a while.
Look, I identify with petty folk. And if the petty is strong with you, if petty's strong in you, then we can vibe on that level. Before I let you go, take us to bearwalker.com. Walk us through the site, some of the things that people will see, and to the untrained eye, some of the things that they should look for as far as choosing a gift for someone or even for themselves.
For sure. Yeah. So like we only really do limited edition stuff. So it's like we only have a few items on the site at a time. They sell out and we create new stuff. So right now, actually, one of the collections I've been most proud of, my Spider-Man collection, has just, by the time this airs, it will have just dropped, which is exciting. Doing Peter Parker, the whole Spider-Verse. So, Miles Morales, Spider-Man 29, Spider-Gwen, Venom, hitting all like the, the Spider-Verse fandom, which is something I'm super passionate about. And we're dropping our first apparel with this collab too. So it's, I'm very proud of this collection, proud of my team for helping kill it. Yeah. And that's at bearwalker.com. And then my socials are bearwalker official. Definitely check it out.
And he's petty. He's an MMA fan. Those comic book movies. Man, look, we need to just hang out sometime. Maybe you can teach me some tricks or something. All right. Bear Walker, it's been a pleasure to have you on the Mo Kelly Show. I hope you've had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend and it's set the stage for a wonderful holiday season, my friend.
Appreciate you having me.
This is the Mo Kelly Show, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Keep it right here. We have more. Now we go to the KFI 24-hour newsroom and Mark Ronner.